Yeah, I've caught the bug. I've caught the bug hard. Hello, I'm Kristin, also known as Vine here on my YouTube channel, where I chat about what I'm knitting, what I'm sewing, what I'm making, or whatever crafty rabbit hole I happen to be diving down this week. And as always, I'm so happy that you're taking some time out of your day to chat about all those fun things with me. And this week, believe it or not, I think my sewing mojo is making a comeback. I don't know, but I do have some sewing content to share with you, so I hope you guys are excited about that. I know in the past I've said that my sewing mojo has been kind of in the dumps, but yeah, it's back this week. So gather around, as I usually say, grab a cup of something, and let's get into it. But first, let's talk announcements. As usual, we have our History Make-Along, which is a year-long make-along where we're all endeavoring to make something historically inspired. So whatever time period you're drawn to, be it the Regency period, ancient Greece, I don't know, the Victorian, Edwardian, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, all the way up until the 50s. Pick a craft that you're inspired by, make it, and join the chatter that's happening around this make-along. And if you're new here, there are two ways to join. Hop on over to the Vine Ravelry group, where there is a respective thread dedicated to this make-along. All you have to do is join the chatter, share your progress, share photos, links to patterns or projects. Simply by participating and chattering in that thread, you are automatically entered to win a giveaway prize when I lock the thread in March 2021 and draw a random winner. Likewise, you can also join and double dip. Double dip is highly encouraged and welcome over on Instagram, where you can do the same, share your projects, your progress, and what have you, using the hashtag HistoryMAL. And again, March 2021, I will choose a random winner from Instagram as well. So the giveaway prize is still TBD, but I promise you it's gonna be something good and fun. So yeah, there's still plenty of time to join. Hop on over there, check it out. It's so, even if you don't feel like joining, it's just a really fun and inspiring make-along to keep up with. And yes, one more announcement before I get into this week's content. This episode, as usual, is sponsored by Skillshare, which is an online learning community platform where you can learn pretty much anything. I use it all the time when I need to learn something in the moment, be it small business related, because as you know, I'm the hand dyer behind Vine Yarns. I run my own hand-dyed yarn company, and there are times when I'm just like, how the heck do I do that? You know, so I jump on Skillshare and I learn whatever I need to know, be it social media marketing, bookkeeping, finances, or, you know, all the boring stuff. But they also have a whole bunch of fun stuff too when it comes to photography, learning to do flat lace for your Insta feed, or even knitting and sewing and weaving tutorials. They've got it all. So if that's something that interests you, click on the link in the description box below and you'll get to try Skillshare for 2 weeks absolutely free on yours truly. And thank you, Skillshare. Although I do want to mention that in the past, Skillshare has offered a trial period for 2 months. They recently announced that they are shortening their trial period to 2 weeks. While that is kind of a bummer, I still think 2 weeks is a pretty sweet deal to try their amazing content and see what they're all about. So again, click on the link below and have fun. We're a little light on the knitting content this week, I'm not gonna lie, but I do have some progress to share with you on my Ladie's Sirdar, my Sirdar Ladies vintage jumper. And it's currently living in this project bag that I whipped up for myself. It's very, very Halloween inspired and themed. And yes, so living inside of here. So as I mentioned last week, I finished knitting the first part, the first front or back panel of the body of the sweater. So that is done. And the next part, I'm currently mid-row of the second half of the body. So I've already started to make decreases to the point of this part or panel. I don't know what you want to call it. I guess it's a panel. Who knows? Back front portion of the sweater. And I don't know, I'm not going to be playing yarn chicken, but this is how much yarn that I have left over from the second skein. So I do want to say that this project is taking approximately 1.75 skeins of yarn. So in case you are thinking about making one for yourself in the smallest size, which is I believe is a size 34, that's what you can expect. So yeah, anyway, that is where I am with that. Again, nothing major to write home about, but I did want to catch you up on my progress on there since I have no other knitting content to share with you. But again, this is the body. This is what the body looks like. In case you're just tuning in, this is going to fold kind of origami style. Origami style, is that how you can describe it? But yes, it's gonna look something like this, and then this little piece right here is going to be grafted into this section right here. And again, it looks small, but it has a lot of give, and once it's all blocked, said and done, I think it's going to work out very, very nicely. Let me see if I can explain this better. So this part right here, the top part of the sweater, the jumper, is two separate pieces that are grafted together down the center. So let me see if I can zoom in on that. So you see I used a crochet hook to graft these two sections together, and it creates this nice little spine slash vertebrae texture, if that makes any sense. I'm definitely not going to use that same method to graft these sections to each other. So when it comes to joining these pieces, I am planning to kind of use like a 3-needle bind off situation. I haven't really decided, but a viewer suggested that I do a pick up and knit type of technique, and I'm going to do a little bit more research and see which kind of finish I prefer to use. But yeah, I definitely plan to do some sort of pick up and knit situation with this, because I feel like the edges on this are, I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see this, but it's a little staggered. It has a little, you know, little steps up here, whereas the edge on this side is, actually, I never noticed this, but the edge on the top portion of the jumper is pretty much the same. It has these little staggered steps happening over here on either side. So hopefully, fingers crossed, these will just kind of fit together like a puzzle, and I can just simply graft them together. I might try a couple of different techniques. Anyway, it's also up in the air right now. So anyway, that is where I am with my Sirdar jumper. Yeah, I am planning and hoping I should be able to have it finished and blocked and ready to share with you on next week's episode. So fingers crossed it'll happen and come together nicely. Yeah, so as I mentioned, that's all I've been knitting on this week. Moving right along into sewing. I don't know if you've noticed the elephant in the room, but I am currently wearing a new handmade garment. I know. Where did it come from? I have no idea. As I mentioned in last week's episode, I have recently gotten into roller skating. Thanks to Tommi of the Squirrel Pie Productions YouTube channel. Hi, Tommi. Yeah. I've caught the bug. I've caught the bug hard. I'll talk more about that in the BLATHER segment of the episode, but yeah, I realized that I don't have too many skater outfits because I did get myself a pair of roller skates, and Dennis and I went skating over the weekend. Again, I'll talk about that in the BLATHER segment, but I have like 2 skater dresses. I used to live in skater dresses and leggings for the longest time, and I don't know, my styles have changed. My style waxes and wanes. I go through different phases. But yeah, I love skater dresses, and I realized I really need some more in my wardrobe. But before I get into things, let me talk about what I'm actually wearing. This is the Zephyr Dress, a pattern by Deer and Doe Patterns, and I've made this pattern before in the past, and I have to say has been getting the most wear out of pretty much anything that I've ever made. It's a floral version. I'll post a photo of it here so you know what I'm talking about. But when I realized that I could use more of these dresses in my wardrobe, I went stash diving and realized that I had this glorious leopard print pont fabric. Is it pont? I believe it's just pont fabric. It's like a very dense knit fabric, but it's a very dense knit fabric that almost feels like scuba fabric, if that makes any sense. So there's not too much stretch to it, but it is knit fabric. So there's a little give to it. Perfect for this pattern. The pattern actually, you know, recommends this type of fabric for it. But I will stand up so you can see what this looks like in all of its glory. Yeah, so it's a V-neck. I don't know how well you can see, but it has some double stitch detail along all the seam lines, princess seams, and this dress falls, I want to say, about 3 or 4 inches above my knee, which I will be totally honest, I'm not a huge fan of skirts that are way above my knee level. I kind of like my skirts to fall at my knee or right below my knee. But I guess when it comes to skater dresses, I don't mind as much because, you know, I'm wearing leggings. I'm usually wearing boots with a little bit of lift to them. So I like that look. This is probably one of the few dresses that I've ever made that just fits like a glove. I really didn't have to do any adjustments to it. The only thing that I did differently compared to my last one is that I extended the bodice a little bit more. I made it longer by, I want to say 5/8 of an inch, because the other one came up to here, which if you notice my the dip of my waist falls like right about here. So I have a relatively longer torso than the average gal. So I noticed, you know, whenever I make any type of dress or shirt, I have to extend my waist just a little bit. Just that little 5/8 of an inch to an inch usually makes all the difference. Otherwise, you know, it just feels a little too cropped sometimes. But yeah, that is my Zephyr dress. So I want to order more fabric to make more of these because this came together so quickly. I forgot how enjoyable this was to make. Again, the first one came together very quickly as well. Again, I want to say it took about 4 to 5 hours. Honestly, I woke up Monday morning and, you know, I did a couple of admin things down here in the dye dungeon, soaked some yarn, went upstairs, cut out my fabric. I already had the pattern pieced together and cut out, so all I had to do was cut out the fabric and start stitching. And it came together. I would say that I would have had it finished by around 2, 3 o'clock, you know, with lunch and everything, but I did have a little issue fitting the shoulder. When it comes to sewing with jersey, I generally always have trouble stretching and fitting the neck bands and sleeve bands in place because you kind of have to like stretch it and fit it to the hole. And anyway, the more I do it, I think the better I will get at it. So anyway, that was the most time-consuming part. And the other time-consuming part I want to say is having to swap out the needles because the pattern suggests that you can either do zigzag top stitching or use a twin needle to create a double line of stitches for the top stitching, which that's the one that I did. So that required me to swap out the needle heads several times throughout the process of making this. And I think it was well worth it because I really do like the effect. As always, I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see this, but you can kind of make out the double top stitching that's happening on the hem. So there is that. And then, yeah, this is what the hem looks like. The pattern actually instructs you to serge the raw edge of the hem and then fold it in 3/8 of an inch and then double stitch it. Use a twin needle to top stitch the hem into place. So that's what I did there. But yes, that is my Zephyr dress, the second one I've ever made, and I plan to make plenty more because I've got a lot of roller skating coming in my future. So yeah, I'm gonna need a lot of these babies. So the cool thing about this dress though, or this pattern, is that they come with a few variations. So there's this one with the V-neck, and then there's one with a scoop neck, and then you can make separate. So there's like a crop top and then a separate skirt that you can make. It's really awesome. So yeah, I highly recommend it. Even if you're not into roller skating, this is just a great all-around dress that you can chuck over a pair of leggings and some boots and call it a day. I am here for that. Clearly my styles shift. So if you've been watching this YouTube channel in the past, you know, I'm still going through a phase of, you know, loving the styles of the Victorian and Edwardian eras. I'm still working that style into my makes for sure. This is kind of just like a little pivot deviation. I mean, there are so many ways I can still work that into these skater dresses and, you know, still have that element in there. So I'm gonna have a lot of fun doing that. But yeah, I find that my making has just been kind of all over the place lately. Like last week I was into quilting, this week I'm into sewing roller skating dresses. There's no method to my madness, guys. I just go with whatever I want to make, whatever I feel like making on a particular day, and I just go for it. So that's the brand of crazy you're gonna get here on this channel. So I hope you're game for that. Welcome. Believe it or not, that is all the creative content that I have to share with you this week, guys. So anyway, hopefully next week, again, I will have a finished sweater to share with you. Maybe another skater dress. I don't know, we shall see. But I am gonna move along into the BLATHER segment of the episode where I chat about what's been happening in my life, should you care to stick around, because there have been things happening in my life that I am so excited about, you guys. As you can tell, I have fallen hardcore down the roller skating rabbit hole. I know, first it's photography, then it's quilting, then it's now it's roller skating. I mean, I haven't, you know, I'm still very much in love with photography. That is still going strong, my friends. But yeah, this is just kind of like an add-on to all the other interests that I currently have. Yeah, guys, there's no end to it in sight. Who knows what I'll be into next week? But this week and the foreseeable future, I'm dearly into roller skating. And again, that was thanks to Tommi from Squirrel Pie Productions. She got it on my radar, and then I just fell headfirst into this rabbit hole, like, and there's just no stopping me at this point. So yes, as I mentioned, I purchased a pair of roller skates. Said roller skates have arrived, and I have since taken them to a rink. I've rolled around. I've since gone to a skating park, practice there, but let me show you my roller skates. And here are the roller skates in question. Aren't they freaking awesome, guys? I am so excited about them. These are Shore Grip Malibus, and as you can see, I kind of customized them. Because if you haven't guessed by now, I am a complete gearhead. I geek out over gear like nobody's business, especially when it comes to photography. It's no different when it comes to roller skating, apparently. So when these arrived, these were black skates. They had black wheels, and I wanted to personalize it a little bit, zhuzh it up, make it more me, my style. So I got these metallic brown, I don't know how well you're gonna see them. They're like metallic brown laces and pink wheels. And while these are Shore Grip roller skates, I swapped out the wheels for some Moxie roller skates, or Moxie wheels, I should say, in their frost pink colorway. And then I also, yeah, I went there. I swapped out the nuts over here, the bolts, with these copper bolts. They used to be silver, but now they're copper. So yes, I've been having quite a bit of fun dressing my roller skates up, even though I'm still a beginner. I'm still learning, and I have no business doing all that to my roller skates, but they're my new buddies and I want to spoil them. So if that makes any sense. But yeah, I have, as I mentioned, I have been practicing. Dennis and I went to Prospect Park over the weekend, where they actually just built this brand spanking new roller rink. It's a roller rink in summer, spring, and fall, I think. And then in the winter they have ice skating there. So that was a really fun find. Dennis rented roller skates, I had my roller skates, and we just kind of went around the rink. I have to say, given all the YouTube videos and tutorials I've been watching prior to getting my skates in the mail, I really felt that I hit the ground running when I got on the rink. It was a bit wobbly at first, but once I got going, I, remembered to, engage my core, bend my knees, and keep my head up straight. The key is to not look at your feet. You have to keep your vision in the direction that you want to go, and, just bend your knees and, just keep your core engaged and head up, back straight, shoulders back. So these are all things that I'm still trying to build muscle memory around and the like. Unfortunately, that rink is only going to be open to roller skating for another 2 weeks or so before they convert it into an ice rink. So, I'm kind of out of luck there. But on Monday, I took my bike, I went to the post office, dropped off some packages, and then did a little bike around my neighborhood and came upon this basketball court, it was a basketball court and soccer court, a very big, wide, open space with benches and completely empty. Maybe like one person sitting down, another person just practicing their skateboarding, and I was on my bike and I'm like, I'm gonna come back here and just skate around and practice. So that is exactly what I did. I went home, dropped off my groceries and everything, got my skates, and just headed back over to that playground, and yeah, for like an hour and a half, and just practiced my drills, skating around, and started slowly breaking into trying doing turns and braking and skating backwards. I still need work on skating backwards and braking, but it's really cool. Like when you practice and practice and practice and you finally something clicks, it's so cool. So anyway, slow but steady progress. And yes, thank you so much for everybody for your concern. I am wearing wrist pads, I'm wearing elbow pads, knee pads, and I'm also learning how to fall properly if I do fall, like, what type of, how how I should fall, like what kind of injuries I should be aware of. So, you know, I'm doing the best that I can when it comes to protecting myself. Although it is roller skating, there are going to be falls, there are going to be spills, because you can't learn unless you fall down a couple times. Am I right? So anyway, again, I'm not going to do anything crazy like a half pipe or anything. Trust me, I'm on flat surface, flat smooth surfaces for the foreseeable future. So rest assured, I think I've got this. So that said, that is where I am with my roller skating. Again, I'm having so much fun, you guys, and I've never felt so motivated to get out of the house and move my butt, because I will be honest, you know, ever since COVID happened, I've been a bit of a couch potato. You know, aside from work and everything, I'm sitting at the computer, I'm knitting, and you know, getting outside is kind of a hassle. So, you know, this has just been so great for me, and I'm just so excited that it's come into my life, and I can't wait to see where it goes. So yeah, that said, I am gonna end things there. Thank you so much as always for hanging out with me this week. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoyed. If you haven't already, please feel free to like and subscribe down below. I put out a video for your viewing pleasure every week. And until the next video, happy knitting, happy sewing, happy making, and I'll see you next time. Bye!